The reports I read over the weekend claimed that when perhaps FBI agents started reading through these emails, closed them up, and said there's something there. That, or I guess people who were investigating Anthony Weiner's pedophilia closed it up and said there's something there. But listen, to the electorate, it doesn't matter, and you know it. Those undecided voters are decided about one big thing. They don't want to vote for Hillary Clinton. If they did, they would take the person they've known for decades and say, I think your experience is the right kind of experience. I think you represent the right kind of change. I can look past your serial lying of many decades. And you know darn well they're hesitant and reluctant to vote for her. It's going to hurt her in the polls continually. We're within 1 point in the ABC Washington Post poll. We were 12 points down last week. The statewide polls are tightening. We're going to win your home state of Pennsylvania.
Okay, well, if you do, you might win the presidential election. I agree with that. It's a big F. Let me ask you about this egregious. I've been watching the candidate, Mr. Trump, on this. He's not just saying some evidence to justify investigation or probable cause. He's accusing her of egregious criminal behavior. His charges are almost, he said it's worse than Watergate. It sounds like it's impeachable already. What evidence does he have that she's committed crimes that are impeachable already before she's even elected, if she's elected? What's impeachable that she's done?
He didn't say she was impeachable.
He said it's worse than Watergate. He said it's worse than Watergate.
Perhaps it is. We don't know that yet, but we know that the cloud of corruption follows the Clintons. Well, you know what, Chris? He's not under investigation, let alone two of them by the FBI in the same year. So let's keep our eye on the ball here. Who the heck is under FBI investigation? Why are we having this conversation in the first place? Chris, why are we having this conversation in the first place?
Because the FBI has issued a report that it's continuing an investigation. Yes, go ahead.
No, this is her fault. She set up a homebrewed private server that she was not allowed to have. She was lying from the beginning about it. She did it to hide emails. She bleach-bitted 33,000 emails to hope that they would be permanently deleted. 17,000 others never got turned over. I mean, come on. This woman lies about lying, and now we have another investigation to see if her lying about lying perhaps is on somebody else's laptop in an unrelated investigation, because her closest advisor, the woman she calls her surrogate daughter, for God's sake, is married to a guy who sextings pictures of his private parts to a 15-year-old girl in North Carolina.
You're not blaming Homo for that, please. How can you blame the two women for the behavior of the men, or the male in this case?
Chris, I didn't blame them. Hold on, and you know it. I didn't blame them for the behavior of their husbands. In this case, I'm telling you why we're having this conversation. You're saying it's because of Donald Trump. I'm telling you Donald Trump didn't text pictures of himself, didn't set up a private server as the Secretary of State. He didn't break with protocol. He didn't use the State Department as a concierge for foreign donations. I mean, this is all on her.
Okay, let me ask you, before we toilet paper both houses completely, and you're doing a great job with it, Kellyanne, let me ask you about Paul Manafort. NBC is reporting tonight, NBC News is reporting tonight that the FBI has begun what they call a preliminary inquiry, not a full-scale criminal investigation, of Paul Manafort's relations with foreign interests. Your thoughts? Does it affect? Is this the reason he left the campaign? How's that for a hard question?
No, well, no. Mr. Manafort and the campaign severed ties in August, and I saw that same NBC News report that you're speaking of, and I saw Paul Manafort quoted in there. He said there is no investigation that he knows of, and he thinks it's a complete distraction.
Okay, thank you. Kellyanne, you're always welcome on this show. Your candidate is especially welcome. You can bring him along next time. We'll talk later on the phone, as always. Thank you, Kellyanne Conway, campaign manager for Donald Trump. Anyway, Hillary Clinton seemed to question the motives of James Comey today. She's getting very tough on the FBI director. Let's watch.
It took a lot of guts. I really disagreed with him. I was not his fan. But I'll tell you what he did, he brought back his reputation. He brought it back.
Let's go right now to Senator Claire McCaskill, Democrat of Missouri, a Hillary Clinton supporter, and the former Attorney General of that state. You know the law. You know how these prosecutions work. What did you make of Comey's announcement on Friday, Senator?
Well, technically, I wasn't the Attorney General, Chris. I was the elected prosecutor in Kansas City and an assistant prosecutor for a number of years. Spent a lot of time prosecuting cases in the courtroom. And here's what I was taught as a prosecutor. The facts are your friend when you're seeking justice. And until you know the facts, keep your mouth shut. And what happened here is Comey opened his mouth when he didn't know what the facts were. It is clear they have no idea what these emails are, but yet breaking every protocol and precedent. And, you know, when you have Chuck Grassley, the Republican chairman of the Judiciary Committee, writing a letter today saying you're not being fair to Secretary Clinton,
Okay.
That is verbiage right out of Chuck Grassley's letter.
Well, we
That
don't
gives you
know.
some
There's-
sense of the outrage.
We're shooting in the dark here because the FBI has announced that they're looking into they're going to look into these emails. The reporting has said that. And the question, of course, is whether they have metadata. Did they know where these emails were coming from? If they knew they were coming from the former Secretary of State, at the time she was Secretary of State, to Huma Abedin, and somehow found their ways onto Anthony Weiner's phone or desktop, or I guess it was his laptop.